Woo-wee! Yabba dabba doo! Hey folks, it is freaking Saturday night here. I don't know what day this is. Saturday evening. And pretty much to talk about the week segment, because that's what the podcast mostly is. It's a 15-minute podcast. This podcast used to be over an hour, back when I used to stay out late, and I had the energy and all that stuff. And if you don't like it, well, go bite me on my butthole. This is the first but yet worst comedy podcast in Philadelphia. And it's your favorite podcast show that most people won't even know about or bother to listen to, you jerkwads. So I got on stage twice this week. Let's get into that. Tuesday night, I went to what I call the Drum Circle open mic. It's a music open mic, but they will let you do comedy there if you're not too crazy. And pretty much, I got there. You gotta get the show starts at 7, so you gotta get there early. Who gives a shit? All right. So I got there like 6:45. I grabbed spot number 2, which is a good spot. And it took about an hour for me to get on because they don't start the show to 7:30. Well, so fine, I get on. And there was a little, people at the bar, but they were talking. There was this blonde cut in the front, and she didn't have a nice ass, but she kept talking. And it was weird. The people in the front were talking, but then the people in the back were listening. But they couldn't even hear me because the people in the front were talking. So I did a couple of new puns for the last episode of JoshCast, and I did some stuff from last week, and I did like 5 minutes, and I got a few chuckles, but they were polite, but nobody really laughed at anything. So I pretty much bombed. And then at one point when I was on stage, the first act was these guys doing an AC/DC song. And they were doing AC/DC cover songs. And they brought me up. And I don't know what the host was. I don't know if he was taking his shit or he was outside talking. So I just went up and started doing my act. And he goes, "Hey, man, you're not supposed to just jump up here." And I said, "Well, where were you?" He said, "Oh, I was outside." I said, "Well, are you supposed to be hosting this thing?" And he kind of looked at me like he was mad, but it's the truth. It's like, if you're hosting this thing, well, get the fuck in here then. I mean, I'm only supposed to wait 15 minutes for you to bring me up. Like, I'm number 2, So anyways, it didn't matter anyways. I bombed. So then after my set, I went live on TikTok using their Wi-Fi, and this black kid behind me, he went on after me. He was doing some guitar solos. He kept looking at my phone. And if you go live on TikTok, other people can join your live stream. So I had like all these random black kids joining my live stream. I had these 3 little white girls on my live stream. So he came over and started talking to me. He said, "Yo, what are you doing?" He was all nosy. I hit him like, "What the fuck are you looking at my phone for?" I go, "I'm live on TikTok." He goes, "Yeah, I used to go live on TikTok too, and Instagram and YouTube." He was like, "YouTube's better." And I said, "Okay." So we talked for a few minutes. Then he told me he had a comedy bit. He's one of those guys. "So I got a comedy bit for you. You want to hear it?" I go, "It's up to you." He goes, "Oh, I got a comedy bit where I'm talking on the phone to Jason Voorhees." And he goes, "You think it's stupid?" I go, "No, I'll try anything." He goes, "You know what? Don't try the bit. I'll do it myself." And I go, "Okay." So he left, and then pretty much afterwards, I only stayed for like a half an hour, and then I went to Little Caesars, and it was weird. I got there at like around 9 o'clock, 8:30ish. There was this white woman there. She had a handicap. She was limping and stuff. But she made the pizza perfect. It was nice and hot. It took like 10, 15 minutes, but it was nice and hot. And they didn't have Diet Pepsi, so I got a Star, which is like a Sprite replica. And I pulled over at Wawa, and I ate the whole fucking pizza except for like half a slice. And I was so bloated and so full, I was like dead. I was like, ah. So that was pretty much Tuesday night. And then Wednesday night, I went to this open mic I haven't been to in a year called Hebos or something. It's hosted by this black comic, Coleman Green, who used to go to Northeast Cabaret. I haven't been there in a year. And I stopped going, a little history, because my first night I went there, I did a rape joke. It was the first night of the night, so test the waters. And then when I came back a few weeks later, he said no rape jokes, which is fine. But he had this white chick that had her boobs hanging out, did like a 5-minute bit about abortion. And she was like all gross about it, describing the blood. And he said nothing, so I got kind of pissed, so I didn't go back. So anyways, I get there. It starts at 8 o'clock, so I get there at 7:20. I was the only person there. I was very awkward. Him and the bartender, this bartender, Donna, who also used to go to Northeast Cabaret, they both looked at me like shocked, like, "What are you doing here?" And I went, "Hello." And they went, "Hi." And he was like, "Are you signing up?" I said, "If you let me." He goes, "Yeah, sure." I go, "Yeah, I want to go on first." So I signed up on the first spot. And he didn't start the show till 8:20. So I sat there for a fucking hour. And then this other black guy who's supposed to be the co-host of the show. He's one of these guys, he never does comedy, but he knows everything about it, though. And they were whispering at the bar, and he was like, oh, I'll text it to you. I don't want to say it out loud. So I'm pretty sure they were talking about me, but they're both pussies, and they couldn't say it out loud. I don't know what they were saying about me, but I guarantee you they didn't have the balls to fucking say it out loud. So, and I have no proof of that, but why wouldn't they say what they said out loud? Anyways, so finally, a couple more people come in. He starts the show at 8:20. He only does like 3 jokes, and I go on first. And I did better than the night before because I actually listened. There was only like about maybe 7 or 8 comics there, only a couple patrons at the bar, so a total about maybe less than 15 people. And they did listen, and I did pretty much what I did the night before. And I did about 6 minutes or so, and I got off stage. And he said it was good. He said, all right, that was good. It wasn't too offensive, whatever, blah, blah. And I was on stage. I was making fun of him. I said, is this supposed to be PG-13? Are you sure? Do I keep it PG-13? Because I don't want to offend anybody. You know, it's all adults in here. And I was like fucking with him. So then I stayed for like the whole show. They only had about 8 comics. And then after the show, he did like this Q&A thing. Well, like I thought he was just going to talk for a few minutes. He goes, any comics who need help, I'll help you. I've been doing comedy for a long time. And then this black guy who never does comedy, he's annoying as fuck. He reminds you like one of those black guys at the movie theater. Like, you know, you're trying to watch the movie and he's like, oh, yeah. Oh, no, man. Oh, yeah. He's like always talking. It's like, shut the fuck up, you fucking digger. Shut up. This guy never does comedy. He's only been on stage a couple of times and he quit. And Coleman's giving people feedback like, you know, oh, like this one comic, you talk too fast. And he's like, yeah, you talk too fast. I mean, I'm like, this guy's you never done comedy, you fucking nigger. Shut the fuck up. Like, I was so fucking angry. I wanted to put a shotgun in his mouth. Like, you never do comedy. This guy's done comedy a few times and he quit. And he's telling everybody what to do. I was so fucking pissed. So Coleman ended up talking for like 20 minutes after the show. And there was this young comedian there named Jack. He works at the Doylestown Cabaret. And he had a spot at Bristol Comedy Works, and they liked him. He had a good set. And he was like, yeah, you had a good set, man, everything. And he's like, anything Coleman said, this guy's like, yeah, man, yeah, you on your way, man, yeah. And it's like, shut the fuck up. He's just trying to be funny. So at one point, Coleman says something hypocritical. He goes, this one chick, she did a board about miscarriages, and it was funny. And he was like, miscarriages? He's like, yeah, you could make anything funny. And they looked at me and said, except for you, Josh, with the rape jokes. He was busting my balls. In my head, I was like, go fuck yourself. Like, you're still mad because I did a rape joke there? If I was a female comic and I had my tits hanging out, you would have said nothing. So fuck you, you fat fuck. So anyways, I stayed for a little bit, and Willie Fritz was there, and Mike the bartender. I forgot to mention that. We got together last Sunday, a couple hours before this last podcast, and we got together for a comedian that passed away that we all knew named Jason Hazelwood. I can't get into a whole long speech, but he was a friend of mine in general. And you guys can see him on JoshCast 500. And if you go to the Drunken and Gaming channel, that's DRUNKEN, not INGEN. You can see his channel over there. He passed away last week, so we got together, me, Willie Fritz, Scott Terry, Tony Viejo, Mike the bartender, and we just hung out. We had some food. We talked about Jason a little bit. It was a fun time. So Willie Fritz, we were talking, and I pretty much got out of there. And I didn't bother to get any food because, I didn't bother to get any food because the time I got to, because I stayed so long because they were talking after the show, I didn't bother to get any food because the time I got home, it was like 11 o'clock. And I was like, I'm going to go to bed in an hour. And I guarantee you every place is probably crowded right now. So I'm just going to go home. So that was pretty much Wednesday. I got on stage two times in a row. Tuesday was good. Wednesday, not so much, but there you go. And then Monday and Thursday, I went to the gym. I got my Chipotle thing. Thursday night, I did some food deliveries, and it didn't go so well like last Thursday. I did about 4 deliveries. They kept trying to take me in the ghetto. And pretty much I canceled these 2 orders, and the app got pissed at me. They're like, hey, you're violating the policy. Contract policy. I'm like, contract? This isn't even a real job. I'm not going to go back to the fucking ghetto and get stabbed. So I turned the app off, got some food, and then last night, Friday night, I did food deliveries. I pretty much, it went pretty good last night. I think I did about 9 deliveries. I picked up from McDonald's twice, a couple Chinese restaurants, a couple pizza places and such. And because it was so smooth, I made a little bit more money than I usually do. Not to say I'm rolling in money. And then I went to Chipotle afterwards, because Thursday night I didn't get my Chipotle. Thursday night I forgot what I got to eat. Oh yeah, Thursday night I went to Wawa, and I got me a chicken Caesar wrap, a bag of Doritos, and a Diet Coke, because I'm eating healthy. And I just ate that. And then as far as tonight goes, I went to Little Caesars again. I had a light lunch today. I had wheat toast and egg whites, so I was fucking starving. So around 6 o'clock, I said I left out earlier than usual tonight. I fucking went to Little Caesars. Not the one I went to on Tuesday. I went to the one near me, and I waited like 15, 20 minutes. All these dirty Kamal illegals came in, and I got my pizza, and it wasn't hot like it was Tuesday night. But I went to Target. I ate it over there, the one near my house. And then I drove up here to the further Target, and I made myself a drink, allegedly, in my car. And now I'm recording this. So, as I said, if anything else happens, I'll add it. But pretty much that's that. As far as on the channel next week, we got a poop show coming and a possible prank call show coming. So look out for that. Well, like I said, if anything else happens, folks, we're at it. And if not, well, that's that. We get to your least favorite segment. We get to the odd news. All right. Let's end this stupid podcast. Let's get to the odd news. Madonna, the ancient BBC lover, teams up with Grindr for an exclusive vinyl of Confessions. Confessions that her snatch must look like a slinky. Yeah. How two men claimed an absurd record by driving an old three-wheel car the length of Africa. I guess 3 wheels. I guess those guys must be the 3 amigos. There's a joke there somewhere. A millionaire U.S. big game hunter is trampled to death by elephants. I already used the Trump joke, so I'm trying to come up with another one. He's trampled to death by elephants. I guess you could say elephants and mice. I feel bad for the guy, but there's something there. Some Planned Parenthood clinics are using Botox to smooth over federal cuts. Botox, more like roadkill found inside Chinese restaurants' freezer. I always thought Chinese restaurants used rodents because when I take a poop the next day, I eat a lot of meat from those places. The poop never looks normal, so gotta be careful, folks. Moose naps outside Montana radio stations. Literally, the station's called The Moose. I guess they're throwing up their horns for that one. RFK Jr. says Trump has a different way of calculating percentages. That's not odd news. Meet the baby koala hiding in the mom's pouch at a Florida zoo's new outback habitat. He's hiding in his mom's pouch. Well, I guess, I think I've done it all, folks. I think I've done it all. A mayor with no pants has become the talk of this North Carolina town. No pants, I guess he's short of dressing up for this event. Shorts. French police look at claim of censored tampering to win weather bets. French police weather bets. I guess you could say they're toast. French toast. Yeah. California man arrested for allegedly swapping in pasta for Lego pieces, then returning them. I guess he was building himself the wrong kind of relationship there. Let's see. I know we got more stuff. Here we go. California's most expensive versus cheapest home right now. $135 million Bel Air mega mansion versus a $27,000 desert teardown. I guess you could say that that's not the Fresh Prince of that story. Arson suspect arrives at a police interview with singed eyebrows. I guess he had a burning desire. That's not bad. I'll use that one. A New York man says he used products sold at Amazon to get high and left him with a neurological damage. Now he's suing the company. I guess he's nose deep up in trouble. The world's deepest marathon. Is there anything else? Former child kidnapping victim Elizabeth Smart makes a wild pivot into competitive bodybuilding. I guess she's, I would start with everything when I guess. Wisconsin, a man stole co-worker's identity for 30 years, and he sent this victim to a mental hospital before DNA revealed him. I guess that was a good face-off movie. So, conjoined twins on future baby plans, so one marries and others stay single. Conjoined twins. How do you stick your wiener in one twin with the other one? Alright. One of India's holiest temples makes it mandatory for visitors to drink cow urine. I guess that's new than what I thought. Something like that. Hot air balloon carrying 13 people makes emergency landing in a California backyard. I guess they were just blowing their chances on landing safely. Police arrest man who replaced $34,000 worth of... I just read that. The Onion says has to deal with Alex Jones, blah, blah, blah. Let's see if there's anything else before we wrap this fiasco of a podcast up. We're going too long here, folks. This podcast is only supposed to be 15 minutes. I'm working overtime here. Millionaire U.S. big game hunter 75 shared with a death by 5. We read that already. Impaired driver calls police on himself after wanting a burger from a fast food restaurant. I guess the service was slow, so he had the Japanese government collects more tax on Australian gas. 3 women on trial for using sex toys on a passed out man. I guess they were just pegging themselves into a case here. Oh boy. I think that's it. Let's see. Yep, that's it. That's it for the show, folks. I'll see you on the next one you just listened to, and we're out of here. Go freak yourself, Cuffy.